Hi, my name is Amber. Welcome back to my channel, Books and Beaches. So it is time to talk about the books that I said that I was going to read in 2023. More specifically, there were 23 books that I said I was going to read in 2023. And I didn't think that that would be such a lofty goal because I read way more books than that in a year. And it turns out I really struggled with it. I am by far a mood reader. And for some reason, even though this list was quite diverse, I struggled with picking them up. And whether that was because I just forgot about them, which sometimes was the case, or I just did not find myself in the mood to pick some of these up, it just all depended. So I have two different stacks here. The ones I did read and the ones that I didn't. So I'm going to go through the exact order that I have written them down in. And that was the order I started the year with them in, and kind of go from there. So let's go ahead and get started. So the very first book I had on my list, and I think this was the only book I didn't own physically. Otherwise, I think I tried to say, almost all of these I had a physical copy of. And that first one was What Have We Done by Alex Finley. And I think this one I had on NetGalley. And of course, I don't even remember what I rated this one. I know I read this one so long ago. But I remember, I think I liked it. I gave it a 4. So decent read. And actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I think I might have a physical copy of it, and it just might be loaned out right now. So that's going to happen with a couple of these because I know I have several of these out on loan. So did read that one. After that on my list, I did have a book that Audrey at Chapter and Converse is probably going to yell at me for not picking up. And a lot of these that I didn't pick up this year, it's not to say that I won't pick them up. I just didn't pick them up this year. So the first one that I didn't pick up was Never Saw Me Coming, and this is by Vera Kurian. I just didn't get to it, and I don't know why, because I know it's really good. So maybe I'll get to it before the end of December. Today is only December 12th, so we shall see. But did not get to that one. Next up on my list, and this one, Sarah from Sarah's Nightstand is probably going to be yelling at me, and that is Carolyn Kepnes's You. I started this one on audio. I got, let's see, how far did I get in? I got 59 pages in, and I just wasn't jiving with the audio, and I know I need to pick it up physically, and I just wasn't in the moment of time where I could pick it up physically. So I will more than likely go back and try to pick this one up physically. I'm probably going to have to start over because quite honestly, I can't remember now. So I'm not DNFing this one for good, just for right now, because I want to watch the show, but I want to read the book first. So there's that. One that I did finish, and I do have loaned out right now, was The Measure by Nikki Ehrlich. This one has such good reviews, and I think I gave it like a 3. I think it is a really good conversation piece. But for me, there was just something lacking. I do have it out to a coworker right now, and I know she's kind of struggling with it the same way I did. And that may be somewhat of an unpopular opinion, but it is what it is. So after that, another one that I did not pick up, and I really, really want to, and I searched for this book for so long, and I can't even remember where I ended up picking it up. It might have been Pango. And that is Bathhouse by P.J. Vernon. I, at the beginning of the year, really, really wanted to pick up this book. I don't know why I haven't yet. I think the 2023 thriller releases that came out after I wrote this list got to me more than the thrillers that are on this list. So it is not to say that this one won't get read, but I clearly did not make it a priority this year. All right, after that, another one that almost made it on my to read list TBR was Lovely War, and this is by Julie Berry. I put this one up against American Dirt, and I polled my friends on which one I should read, and American Dirt won, and I ended up listening to that one on audio. So this one will be coming. I will be listening to this one on audio. I know Lindsay from Lindsay's Little Library voted for this one and was probably a little bummed that I didn't pick it, but once again, all of these I do want to read. I didn't make them a priority. How many times can I say that in one video? But like I said, I pinned that one up against American Dirt, and that is the next one on this list, and I did read that one. I read that one in the month of November and quite enjoyed it. And like I said, in the month of November, I actually pinned this in my comment section. I will appreciate that for the work of fiction that it is, because I know there is some controversy surrounding that book, but I did enjoy it for the work of fiction, and I currently have it out on loan to a coworker of mine. So next up on this list is another one I actually did finish. Yay, who knew? And that was Home for Unwanted Girls, and this is by Joanna Goodman. This one was all right. I can't remember if I gave it a 3 or a 4. I guess I wasn't sure what I was expecting out of it, but it was all right. It was a good story, and it was a concept of, you know, kind of sending a woman away for having a child out of wedlock, and it was, you know, a story that I haven't read much about before, and I'm sure I've talked a lot about it in my wrap-up, but wasn't like the most amazing book that I read all year. So there's that one. Another one I did not get to, and I think I put this one on my list mostly trying to get through some of my book of the month books, and like I said, newer releases just for calling my name, and that was The Lies I Tell by Julie Clark. I liked the other book by Julie Clark I've read. I think it was The Last Flight, I believe. And so I do want to pick this one up. So yeah, I think I got to make a priority of book of the month books. I should be jotting down notes of different goals that I should have for 2024. But whether or not I'll have a 24 books I should read in 24 list is still to be determined. So there's that one. Following that on my list is another one that I had in a previous video this year, and I am failing on following up on videos. Let's just put it that way. This was, I think I did a 5-star prediction video of books that friends picked out for me. And I never ended up finishing that book on what I thought, because guess what? I didn't read them. It's real life, I swear. And this book was The Diamond Eye by Kate Quinn. Amanda from The Curly Reader suggested this one for me. And I know, it is supposed to be so, so good. And when I am in a historical fiction mood, this is going to be the book I pick up. This has actually been sitting on my nightstand pretty much since that moment. And though I read American Dirt before this one, although I don't know if I would consider that one historical fiction or not, I do need to pick this one up. So it's a really big, intimidating book. It's over 400 pages. So how many times can I say it will get read? I just want to win. Make them a priority, Amber. I was so good at making other things priorities this year. Like my Netflix. No, I was not good at making my Netflix a priority. I was really good at making my NetGalley a priority this year, especially in November, but yeah, this list was lacking, and I was doing so good at the beginning of the year. So good, and then I just fell off. But 2 that I did for sure finish, and this was in the time period that I was doing so well with this list. So well. I read both Creep and Freak by Jennifer Hillier, and loved them. I don't think there's been a book by Jennifer Hillier that has just disappointed me. I really enjoy her writing. I've really enjoyed her stories, and so I will continue to read things that she puts out. So for sure those ones. And actually those are 2 books that I don't have physical copies of, but I will probably attempt to get. I think part of the reason I don't have them is I keep finding them in mass market paperbacks, and I hate mass market paperbacks. But anyways, another one that I do not have, or I do not know where it went currently, these shelves are a mess. Winter break, one of my goals is to take care of these crazy shelves, but right now the crazy mess in front of me is Christmas presents that need to be wrapped for my family. So once those are cleared out, I will start tackling what's behind me. But I did read Something Wilder by Christina Lauren. I remember liking it. Kind of a different adventure-y, little twisty, not thrillery by any means, but a little bit of mystery in there, what I'm not used to with Christina Lauren. And I did end up liking that one. I think I probably gave it a 4. So did read that one. One I believe I have out on loan right now. I think it's to my coworker, Jen. And I'm pretty sure I put a post-it note on it and said, I haven't read this one yet. Please give me your opinions, because I knew it was on this list, is Fool Me Once by Ashley Winstead. Now, I am behind on my Ashley Winstead reading. I have the audiobook from NetGalley of her newest one, which the name is escaping me right now. And I got the audiobook like the day before it came out. So I am just behind, and I'm pretty sure I'm getting a copy of it for Christmas, but I have not read any of her like contemporary romance side of things yet. So I gave that one to a coworker to hopefully give her opinion for me on. Another one that I did not get to, and I said I was going to get to, because in all hopes, I was going to send this one to Amanda, and oh gosh, I think earlier in my video, I called her the curly reader. She is not the curly reader anymore. She is on the middle shelf. So sorry, Amanda. And that was The Kingdoms of Savannah, and this is by George Dawes Green. And I think I picked this one out when we went book shopping last year in Winona and La Crosse, and I said I was going to send this one to Amanda after I read it. And here we are a year later, and I still haven't read it. Once again, Amanda, 1, sorry that I got your channel name wrong the first time. I'm still getting used to the channel name. Change up. And 2, that I didn't read this and send it to you. So it'll happen someday. All right. Another one that I don't know where I put it on my shelves. I didn't dig too far back, but it's back here somewhere. And it's A Gentleman in Moscow, and by Amor Towles. I said I was going to read it. I haven't read it yet. Once again, I gravitated a lot towards thrillers, not so much of the historical fiction when I was trying to kind of, diversify my list here. So it's back here somewhere, but I didn't read it. But now we're going to go through a whole list of them that I did actually accomplish on this list. So let's take a look here. I did pick up, let's see, where is it? I know it's over here. I picked up After We Were Stolen, and this is by Brooke Bafus. This was kind of a cultish story and escaping from a cult. I did actually enjoy this one, and I was super glad I picked that one up. I'm going to be loaning that one out to a coworker real soon. I also picked up The Resemblance by Lauren Nassett. I liked this one, set at the University of Georgia, and I believe now her next one that just came out this fall is also set in Georgia with the same detective, if I'm not mistaken. I think that one's called The Professor, and I need to pick that one up yet. So looking forward to that. Let's see. I also picked up Hannah Morrissey's Hello Transcriber this year. Hannah Morrissey is a Wisconsin author, so local to me, which is pretty cool. Not my favorite book. And then I actually ended up picking up The Widowmaker as well, which is the second in this series. Not directly related, but they're in kind of like the same world. They both have things that aren't my favorite elements in like a mystery thriller, but I am still going to pick up the third one just to see. And I liked supporting a local author, even if it's not going to be my most favorite book, but that's all right. One I also recently just read, because it was my scavenger hunt pick, was Wrong Place, Wrong Time by Jillian McAllister. I did end up enjoying this one. It's kind of a different premise, but it was quite an enjoyable read, and I talked more about this one in my November wrap-up, but another one crossed off this list. Let's see. And then we're back to another one that I didn't get to, and this one I kept waiting, I think, to be in a mood to read this one, because I really, really like Taylor Jenkins Reid, but I just I don't know if I wasn't ready to pick it up or if I wasn't in the mood. I don't know. But this is Carrie Soto is Back, and this is the only Taylor Jenkins Reid book I haven't read. This is the only book I need to read in order to read her to zero. Because I've read all of her other ones, all of even the backlist ones, but I still have yet to read this one. I even have this book on Audible. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. So that is one I have not picked up yet. And then the last few on this list, I have actually read. So the last couple here are All the Dangerous Things by Stacey Willingham, thankfully my book club read this, so that forced me to pick this one up. And it was another one off of my book of the month shelf that I could say I had read and finished. And I do remember liking this one, and I think I really liked the twists in that one, if I remember right. Oh, one that is up there. And of course, I'm not gonna grab it right now, but was My Dark Vanessa, and that one was by Kate Elizabeth Russell. Oof, that was a dark read. Really, really hard to recommend to people because of how dark it is, and hard to rate because you don't want to say it's good because of the content, but it was good writing. Difficult, but I did finish that one. And then the very last one that I had on this list was Ruth Ware's The It Girl, and I did end up enjoying this one too, especially if you kind of like the college-y vibes. So those were all of the books that I had on my list for the 23 books that I wanted to read in 2023. So if I count them up here, let's see, I read 14 of the 23. So just over 50%. Not my greatest statistic, but it could be worse. I could have read none of them. But I think I would have had to make a more conscious decision to read like 2 a month or something to keep myself on better track. So I still have to make a decision on how I want to revamp this for 2024. I could do 24 books in 2024 and really focus on doing 2 books a month, but with being a mood reader, that's kind of hard. I did see Krista at Books and Jams do, 12 books in a year and then do 1 a month. So that's kind of a unique idea. And I've recently followed a whole bunch of new booktubers, which I'm really, really excited about. Not that I don't love all of my booktube besties that I follow. They are wonderful human beings, but it's just really interesting to see some new content too. And so I'm excited to kind of see what their plans are for 2024 and see if there's anything that I might be interested in as well. I know there are some new kind of online book clubs happening that seem to be right up my alley. So we shall see. But let me know if you have read any of these books, especially the ones that I haven't picked up, and whether or not they might be worth my time picking up or putting on my list of books to read in 2024. So as always, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.